Welcome back to the Office Marketing Podcast with Mike Swigert, the podcast all about sales tips, mindset, and value bombs. 5 questions to help make your day more productive and learn a thing or two. Here is your host, best-selling author, Mike Swigert.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for taking time out of your day to listen to the Office Marketing Podcast. I do my best multiple times a week to try to bring you real, genuine value, something that just kind of makes your day a little bit better. Hopefully you're able to, hop on a treadmill or walk the dog, or maybe your drive's a little bit quicker and easier. So that's the whole goal of this, is just try to bring a little bit of value to your week. And today we're going to talk about something that our company does a ton of, and that's email strategy. If you know anything about our company, we do a lot of outreach and nurturing campaigns. And so I want to share with you sort of like the 5 keys to any great email and any email strategy that you may be thinking about. Just kind of write these down and just have this as your sort of your cookbook for success when it comes to email strategy. And I guarantee you, if you followed this cookbook, you're not only will you have higher open rates, you'll have better engagement, and your ROI will go through the roof. And you guys know that of all the marketing that you can do in 2021, email marketing is generally going to have your best ROI, better than Google ad spend, better than direct mail. Pretty much, so any campaigning that you can do outside of email will not be as effective as email campaigns. So here are the 5 keys to a great email strategy. Number 1, stick with your brand. Right? Make sure that if you're doing something that is going out, that it's in line with your brand. If you're a Herman Miller or a Knoll rep, yes, it's going to have a very polished, finished design feel to it. If you sell fireworks, well, then you can be very loud and explosive, right? I was just having a conversation with a good friend of mine this morning, and he does, Fortune 50, Fortune 100 photography and videography. And when it comes to his marketing, it's going to have a very high level of video presentation and photography presentation, because that's what specifically is in line with his brand. When people get things from him, they expect it to be done at a very professional yet creative way. So again, rule number 1, stick with your brand. Number 2, segment any way possible. If you heard me say at the beginning, right, we talk about outreach and nurturing. In general, if that's all you do when it comes to your segmentation, as far as outreach and nurture, outreach would be to your cold to cool, and nurturing would be someone that you've given a proposal to. Maybe you didn't win it, but you still gave them a proposal to existing clientele, right? So if you just broke it up that way, that's great. If you broke it up, got a little more granular, if you broke it up based on, say you had a healthcare division, a hospitality division, you had a class A division, class C, right? There's different messaging and different different values that each group may have, so that if you can get more granular and kind of cater the message specifically to those groups, you will have more effect, right? Especially because you can embed that into your subject lines specific to that vertical. Okay. Number 3, unlike something that I do, I want you guys to be brief, right? So be brief in your email outreach. There was a HubSpot study done recently. It said the best length for emails to get engagement and actually to get click-through rates was between 50 and 100 words. Like, please hear what that just said. The best length for your emails is between 50 and 100 words. Oftentimes, my clients will hear me call it a 4-sentence email. Anything over 4 sentences, and you're probably getting a little verbose, and you might lose them. When it comes to your outreach, you want it to sound very genuine and very organic. Let it be very, very clear that this wasn't some full of HTML and embedded pictures. Look, have a newsletter be a newsletter, but let your email strategy be your email strategy. If you want to do the newsletter, that's great. but don't confuse an email, a direct email campaign with a newsletter campaign. They both have different purposes.
This episode of the Office Marketing Podcast is brought to you by Fusion Advisory. We help commercial contractors generate leads online profitably. Check us out at fusion-advisory.com.
Next one, number 4. Let's just kind of go through. So number 1 is stick with your brand. Number 2 is segment. Number 3 is be brief. Number 4, personalize when possible. When you're doing email campaigns, your open rates will double if you can include the person's name and their region into the email, right? And you've gotten it. You've gotten the email and it said, hey, Mike, here is a great strategy for all people in Georgia. Well, that sounds like something I'm interested in. It's created a little bit of curiosity. So when you're doing an email strategy, right, if you could possibly say, hey, Tom or Jane or Susie or Brad, whatever the person's name is, if you can say their name in the subject line, here's something that every facility director will find valuable in New York, in Chicago, in whatever your market is, whatever your ideal market is and wherever they are. Make sure you don't mess that up. Don't send something to people in New York and say California. So if you are going to personalize it with their name first. That's the safest. And if you can do geography, number 2, that's even better. If you can also include their vertical, that's great. So if you just did name and vertical, fantastic. Name, vertical, and geography, your open rates are going to go through the roof. Number 5, this is where I think people struggle the most when it comes to number 5, right? Have a clear call to action. Don't just say, hope you enjoyed it. Hope this was helpful. Wishing you the best, right? No, have a very, very clear call to action. Hey, hop on my schedule here, and put a link to your calendar. Respond to this email if you would like to learn more. Respond to this email to learn more. Call here to set up an appointment, right? Just be very clear. Donald Miller, who one of the best, he wrote Story Brand and many, many other great books. But Donald Miller always says, he said, a client will not walk into a fog. So if you give clear direction of what the next step is, now they've gotten your email, they see it, they see your value, they have clarity, you got them to open it up. Well, what's the next step? Hey, call us to do a discovery call. Call us for a strategy session. Call us for a blank, right? Just know, you have to know what the next step is, or the client won't know. Sending out emails is fantastic. Sending out emails without call to action is a waste of everybody's time. You have to understand, you have to put yourself in the receiver's shoes. What would inspire you to take the next step? What is it that's in that email that's so valuable and so important that you'd be like, man, I'd really like to talk to these people and learn a little bit more about blank. Man, I really feel like I'm missing out. If I don't engage them, I really feel like my project's not going to go as well if I don't engage them. If you can do that by getting across your brand to your segment in a brief way, personalized with a clear call to action, you will win in your campaigns. There's nothing tricky here, guys. Follow this cookbook and you will have a lot more success on your outreach. I hope you found this helpful. It would mean so much to me if you took time, went to wherever you're listening to this podcast. Give me a review. If you enjoy this, please let me know. And if you don't like it, just keep it to yourself. So thank you so much for listening. And I look forward to catching you guys again. Thanks.
Thanks for listening to the Office Marketing Podcast. Be sure to join the conversation on our YouTube channel, LinkedIn, and Facebook pages. If you enjoyed the episode, head over to iTunes to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.